Hello everyone, welcome to another Tavern Master video. Sorry it took me so long to make this, but in this video we're going to be going over the last two updates. The first one was the 1.04 update that came out on New Year's Day, so I'm very late for that, but the second one is the AI improvements update that came out January 11th, so a week yesterday. That I only found out about a couple days ago. Getting back to the updates themselves, for the first one we have the 1.04 update. So the first item for the 1.04 update was achievements. I've only unlocked 4 of them at this point. There's 17 total. So unlock the second floor, rise high, place to sleep, build a hotel room, drink and eat, unlocking the kitchen, an employee of the month, getting an employee to level 10. And there's, of course, several other achievements, 13 others, for unlocking multiple other things that you can see here. So that's the first thing that was introduced in 1.04. The second thing that was introduced in 1.04 is that the build mode tiles are smaller now. So tiles used to be the size of what 4 of them are now. So these 4 here used to be the size of one tile, but now they shrunk the grid so that you can more finely tune things and more accurately place things, which also allows you to do things like centering fireplaces on the wall, which looks much better, it being right under the post like that, or being able to put it right in the middle of the wall like this if you wanted to, as opposed to it having to be off to the side slightly, which it had to be before. The next thing that they added were decorations being able to be placed outdoors. So for example, I can take this plant and... oh, I actually can't place it out of the build space still. My tavern takes up the entirety of the build space, but for example, if you had an outdoor area, you could then go and take it and put them outside as well. I know lots of people have like a patio sort of area, an outdoor dining area, things like that. So now you can decorate those as well. Next thing on the list is photo mode, which can be found in the pause menu here by clicking on this little camera icon. So it removes the UI and pauses everything so that you can take pictures. And then now I can switch to photo mode and take a photo just like that using screenshot buttons. Steam screenshot button most likely. It doesn't add an actual capture key at the moment, which is unfortunate, but hopefully it will add that later on, and then it'll make it a bit easier to actually take screenshots. Just turn the sound effects volume down a little bit so that I can actually hear myself. The next item is chefs actually use the chopping board. Yes, there, right there. So as the chef just demonstrated, the chopping board right here, they actually use that now to chop meat. You just saw them using that. Apparently before they didn't. I didn't really pay attention, so I never really noticed. But that is something that they added. Next item on the list is there are new items. So the torch stand, for example, in lights, like this. That's a torch stand. And then new look, I guess, for the cauldron. And last thing is several bug fixes and optimizations, which is a given for any update for any developer who's paying attention to what's happening. So next up we have the AI improvements update. And for this one, the developer specifically mentioned that they were looking for feedback on it. It's because I think that not all of it is strictly necessary, but they're trying to tweak things to find a good balance for the AI and to make it nice for everybody to play and trying to figure out what their players want. So that's really cool of them to pay attention to that. So if you do have the chance, please go and leave some feedback for the developer. I'll be having some links in the description so that you can go and do that. The first thing that they added were bars and counters no longer hold 4 waitresses. 3 waitresses is now the max for any given bar, and they will be adding individual spots for waitresses even on hotel floors. So for example, if I go up to my hotel floor, I could possibly purchase a waitress spot and place them along the floor here so that they can attend to the people in the hotel rooms. The next thing on the list is you can individually assign priorities to different chefs. So for example, certain chefs have different skills for different types of meals. So, for example, Godfrey receives 2 coin bonus for every main course served. So he can be switched then to main courses. I don't think this is something that was implemented quite yet. I don't see any option to do that, but that is something that's being planned. Yeah, it still just has the floors to serve, which is another thing they're going to be taking out after actually, so you won't need to assign floors to staff. They'll automatically just stay on their own floor and will only go to other floors if they don't have their own bar or kitchen. So for example, my second floor doesn't have a bar or a kitchen, so the people on the first floor will tend to the second floor as well. Next up on the list is bartenders will now be able to fill multiple mugs at the same time and carry them all instead of only one at a time. So again, there's like lemonade in these ones, and then these ones there's ale in that one. There's some water in those ones. There's some milk in those. So now they won't have to do one type of drink at a time and carry them over here. They can now do a lemonade and a milk and a water and wine and carry up to 4 at the same time, which will be way more efficient, and they'll have to make a lot less trips back and forth. So that is a great improvement as well. And next up, you can now have 4 small cauldrons instead of one large one, which will allow the chefs to make multiple types of soup instead of wasting the different soups. So right now, it's still just the big cauldron, but what they're planning to add is 4 small cauldrons instead of one big one. So instead of having one big cauldron with one type of soup in it, they will then be able to have the 4 small cauldrons, and then they can have different soups. So you can have one with tomato, one with leek, one with vegetable soup, and then probably other soups afterwards once there are more added. And that'll just save a lot of time instead of having to make a cauldron full of one type of soup just to serve 1 or 2 people, and then completely empty it out and make a whole new cauldron full of soup for other people that want a different kind of soup, thereby wasting ingredients and time. And finally, the basin and the spice shelf can now be used at the same time. So this is the spice shelf here with all of the different pots on it. And where is the basin? Oh, the basin full of water for like washing and things like that. Those can now be used by multiple chefs at the same time. It doesn't show the directions, but I assume one per each side of it can now use it. And then the spice shelf, which is this one here, once that is in an area, for example, if I were to put it here, seems like they could probably do 1, 2, and then 2 on the other side, 2 on each side besides that as well. So it's another improvement, and it'll probably change the ways that a lot of people set up their kitchens and other areas of their tavern, but it'll also allow for more freedom when combined with the new building grids that let you place things more precisely. I hope you enjoyed me going over this update today. I will be sure to check a little bit more often to try and stay on top of the future Tavern Master updates. I'm sure they have lots more planned, going off of the roadmap that we took a look at in the previous video. So I will be sure to try to get those in as soon as those updates are added, and hopefully showcase some exciting new features for everybody. If you want to be reminded, please subscribe, and I hope to see you in another Tavern Master video sometime soon. Thank you for watching.